I've been a little too slow. I'm going to try to speed run some of the things that I have created already and just haven't gotten into the document. The outcome would be to lose a spawn point and get a pawn that you could place around your castle. And then likewise for the commander, you would have, okay, so you have to have a spawn point, then you could place the knight. I guess also you can't have another. You're not allowed to have more than one commander at a time. There's just not enough pieces. There's not enough chess pieces, but that's good. The restriction, it helps with the creativity a little bit. So then the culture unit, you would have to have a spawn point, and again, not already have the bishop on the field. So like the commander, same with the bishop. And fill in the action list. Migration, okay. Change that, I messed that up. Then go back here. Okay. And it might be kind of hilarious. You've noticed probably that my spelling is all over the place. And that is not going to change. Okay, so far, okay, I've made all the rules go back to the action list. And so far we only have five rules. Okay. Next up would be the action phase. And the action phase would be first, kind of like population growth, there's a calculation to see how many action points your society can pull off that turn. So the action points for your society are related to how many civilians you have. If you have, first you gotta have at least one civilian, and you gotta be a city state. So, not a migratory tribe. So first you're not a migration tribe, and then the outcome would be dependent on how many civilians you have. Outcome, write that down. So 1 action point for 1 pawn, 2 action points for 2 pawns, 3 action points for 4 pawns. So you gotta capture that 4th pawn to have 3 action points. Because you couldn't create more than 3 pawns in your capital. Alright, and then what else? With the action points, you would use them for your culture unit, your commander unit, or your pawn. The culture unit would be able to convert pawns of a different culture that are next door in a 9 square radius around the bishop. So within 9 square radius around the culture unit, and then you flip them to your side. Okay, and that's one. Oh, and that would be an action point. You would need to have an action point for that. Plus 1 action point have 1 action point. And then you would lose an action point. Okay, so that's action your society can do. Your bishop can convert another citizen into one of your civilian, or into a civilian of your side, on your side. What else? The commander. Oh, wait. I guess military action. Military unit. No, what am I looking for? Dominate. Okay, so here now we have the makings to show how this would work, and that would be is a knight plus has action point. And the outcome would be can move knight or a pawn. So within that 9 square radius, you can move the pawn 1 square in any direction, and if it lands on another pawn, commander, or bishop of another culture, it's just destroyed. You take it off the board, and that's costs 1 action point. So that's warfare, and then culture conversion would be. Oh, right, we already did that. And then, okay. Culture conversion and warfare are going to be actions. This is going to be under the action category. And moving a pawn is also an action, but that's more of just relocating it kind of thing. And then moving a pawn is an action you can also take. So moving a pawn, the ability, there's a few different considerations objects would make. There's the ability, the priority, the awareness, and ability, priority, awareness, what's the last one? Affinity. So you might be able to do something, but is it really a priority? Moving a pawn is just going to be a priority if something endangers a pawn. So in the priority section, it would be something like, is there a commander unit of another culture nearby? And do we assume it's going to attack us in whatever sense, in whatever value that would take up?